Welcome to Creepypasta by Axel D. Blaze.
I'm a translator. Ancient languages, mostly Akkadian, Syriac, a little Enochian if you believe in that sort of thing. I usually work with museums or weird grad students. But last month, I got a job from a man who wouldn't tell me his name. He found me through my website. No profile picture, no references, just a message. I have something you need to see. I'll pay triple your normal rate. Bring gloves. The file he sent was a series of photos, scanned pages from what looked like a journal. Leather-bound, brittle paper, black ink that had faded to rust. The script was unfamiliar at first, harsh, blocky, like cuneiform had a migraine. But the structure, the syntax, it felt too intentional to ignore. I told him I'd take the job. He wired me the money instantly. No questions asked. The journal had no title, just a single phrase etched into the inside cover. What is bound must speak. Most of it was disjointed ramblings, names that didn't exist, locations that didn't make sense. But the further I went, the more I realized this wasn't a diary. It was a confession from something that wasn't human. It talked about its fall. Cast like rotted gold from the heavens, it said. It remembered the cold before light, the taste of burned offerings, the thrill of being worshipped. Then came the silence, the great forgetting, and finally the binding. It said it had been trapped in a vessel, a host who spoke my words, but whose throat bled for them. That phrase stuck with me. So did this one. The translator becomes the transcriber becomes the vessel. I stopped sleeping. The more I read, the more I understood words I never should have known. Not just what they meant, but how they felt, like they were alive. Like they were watching me. One night, I woke up and found symbols carved into my apartment wall. Not drawn, carved. Deep, perfect lines. I live alone. No one has keys. Then came the voice. It didn't speak out loud. It was in me, in my thoughts, but not mine. It called itself Vorkael. Said I'd unlocked the gate with my tongue. Said it had waited for centuries for someone who could read its story in the right order. I tried to burn the journal. It wouldn't catch. I soaked it in gasoline, nothing. I tried to email the man who hired me. The message bounced. His account was gone. The bank transfer? Reversed. Like it never happened. The journal's gone now. But I still have the words. They're in me. Sometimes I black out and wake up in strange places. Subway tunnels, rooftops, under bridges. Always near someone who dies a few days later. One was found with their jaw shattered. Another drowned in dry air. The last had pages torn from their stomach. Each had the same phrase carved somewhere on them. The translator becomes the vessel. And I've started speaking in my sleep. My neighbors say it sounds like screaming backwards.
It's been 8 months since the pandemic happened. Many people haven't been using the water systems. Contaminated. It's rare nowadays to find fresh, uncontaminated water. We have to resort to using bottled waters and whole gallons full to wash ourselves. I don't recall the exact details, but it all started from the release of a new product, Pelt Mane. It's some kind of revolutionary shampoo that helps repair damaged hair, unlike most other kinds of shampoo that we usually know. Apparently, from this one, they have discovered some kind of compound deep in the dunes of Mars. Some kind of glossy liquid that can easily regenerate dead skin and make hair feel smooth as silk. Most people began to promote it online, saying that within just a couple hours, your hair will feel rejuvenated and freshly new, like baby hair. And for this, it was too good to be true. And everyone bought it. For a good while, things didn't seem too out of the ordinary, until the incident happened. Sometime during the 4th of July, a woman was found in her bathroom, dead in her own bathtub, with huge lumps pulsating on the top of her head, while it began to spew out the same glossy liquid that was found on Mars. And amongst the body were a large spread of small curled-up balls of hair. And seemingly, you wouldn't think that it was out of the ordinary. Whenever you have curls or very dry hair that gets tangled up, curled-up chunks of hair will be pulled from your hair into small clumps. But believe me, don't be fooled by their looks. These hair bugs will begin to multiply from the large bulbs on your head if you come into contact with Peltmane. From the beginning, 193 people died from the results of Peltmane. But as of now, nearly 14,947,037 people have now died from the results of Peltmane. And more days have gone by, with a wide spread of hair bugs attacking humans, crawling inside of their scalps to turn their heads into hair bug factories. At the time of writing this, many survivors of the hair bug pandemic have settled into the outskirts of Langford, Massachusetts, with myself included, as you can imagine. In the outskirts, it's very, very cold. And hair bugs cannot reach us, as they are unable to adapt in cold conditions. For any survivor that reads and finds this message, do not use any kind of faucet or shower head of any kind. When the start of the pandemic happened, many hair bugs began to adapt to our water supplies. With a lot of hair bugs making their way down drains and starting to contaminate the water. Never, under any circumstances, use the water systems in any place that you reside in. From all we know so far, the hair bugs cannot be destroyed by fire or by crushing them. They feed off of brain matter. We're hoping that by the time winter comes along, the snow will kill off some of the hair bugs. But with how the planet has been infested by 68% of hair bugs, God knows if they'll all be completely dead. So take these words as advice, for when the next time you feel something on your head that feels like there's something crawling in your hair, or a little itch on your scalp, or even so much as a weird little bump on your head, you're already dead.
It started with a smell. Not a rotten one. Not mildew, not dead rats. It was sweet. Sickly sweet, like spoiled honey or overripe fruit, thick in the air and clinging to my throat when I breathed in. At first, I thought it was just something in the walls. This apartment is old, cheap, and probably full of mold. But when I opened my closet to grab a hoodie, the scent nearly knocked me over. It wasn't just stronger in there, it was coming from there. Like the closet itself was exhaling it. The back wall looked wrong. Like it had been redone badly. I pressed my palm against it, and it flexed soft, hollow, and loose. Cheap plywood or something. So I did what you should never do in these situations. I pulled it off. Behind the fake wall wasn't another wall, it was a tunnel. Narrow, low, and lined with wooden slats like an old attic. The air was heavy and wet, and that smell was 10 times worse inside. But I couldn't help myself. I crawled. Only a few feet in, the tunnel opened up into a room. Maybe 10 by 10 feet. The floor was dirt, the walls were rough brick, and the ceiling was covered in what looked like sticks. No, not sticks, bones. Small ones. Too many to count. There were things inside. Nestled in the corners, surrounded by little piles of shredded cloth and moss. I thought they were dolls at first. Handmade, primitive, wrapped in string and stuffed with straw. But they had faces. Not drawn on or sewn. Real. Preserved, flattened, stretched like leather. Each one had a human face, dry and frozen in some expression, terror, sadness, rage. Each one was staring right at me. I backed out. Fast. When I reached the closet again, I slammed the wall back in place and pushed my dresser in front of it. I tried to forget it. I wanted to forget it. That night, I dreamed of scraping. Tiny claws against wood. Whispered breathing. The sound of straw shifting. When I woke up, the closet door was open. I nailed it shut the next day. Boarded it up. Piled everything I owned in front of it. But it didn't stop the dreams. Every night I saw them. The little figures. Crawling. Shuffling. Standing over me. Watching with those stretched faces that still twitched when they thought I wasn't looking. One night, I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis, maybe. I was frozen in bed, eyes wide open, while one of them dragged itself up from under my mattress and pressed a hand to my chest. Its fingers were sharp and wrong. Insect-like. And its face. I recognized it. It was mine. I'm not staying here anymore. I've packed a bag, booked a hotel. I'm leaving tonight. I don't care about the lease, or the deposit, or anything. But before I left, I had to check one last thing. I moved the dresser. Tore the boards off. The wall was intact. No hollow sound. No seam. Just solid plaster. But the smell is still there. And I just heard something knock. From the inside. If you ever smell something sweet and wrong in your closet, don't open the wall. Don't crawl into the dark. And if you already did, don't fall asleep. They nest inside your dreams. And when they wear your face, you don't wake up alone.